Welcome back, Patriots. Welcome back to Sons of Liberty, 1773. I'm your host, Bill Bailey. So on day one of the illegitimate criminal Biden regime coming to power, they enacted their seditious plan to effectively end security on our southern border, allowing millions of illegal immigrants to flood into America, with many of those being caravans of fighting-age men from China and other governments unfriendly to America. That was phase one of their plan. But now we are learning what phase two is, and it's not good. Listen to what Dick Durbin is proposing.
I describe it accurately. Says that if you're an undocumented person in this country and you can pass the physical and the required test, background test, the like, you can serve in our military, and if you do it honorably, we will make you citizens of the United States. Do we need that? Do you know what the recruiting numbers are at the Army and the Navy and the Air Force? They can't reach their quotas each month. They can't find enough people to join our military forces. And there are those who are undocumented who want the chance to serve and risk their lives for this country.
You know, just sitting here thinking, when you think, first off, think of what they're doing there, right? They've allowed all the unfriendlies from the Chinese Communist Party and other governments that don't like us, maybe 1 million fighting-age men. I mean, a massive army of our enemies to flood into this country. And they don't have jobs, right? And the fix is, well, let's let them join the military because they want to fight for America. Yeah, sure they do. But as I'm watching that, I started thinking, they've created a shortage. No one wants to go in the woke military, right? No one wants to join when Biden's leading us into World War III. And I started thinking, was that intentional? So there's a big opening to fill those vacant spots in the military, those recruiting numbers that they're missing by 50%. This is a really bad idea. And my fear is with this, and look, I'm going to show you some stats here in a second. There has been tens of thousands, and I didn't know this, of immigrants that were not American citizens yet, that joined our military and got their naturalization through the military. Now, I think a lot of these may have been people in other countries that we were doing surveillance in, or like in Afghanistan where we needed, human resources there. But I know like Rudy from Alaska Prepper Channel, his family immigrated from the Dominican Republic, and he was in our military, and he's a good guy. So I'm not saying in the past this wasn't a good thing. I'm saying under the current circumstances, this is a really bad idea. And look, we're heading into uncertain times with our nation to where if things don't go our way this coming November, and we truly end up with a full-on totalitarian state, the military, look, when they're people that grew up in America, that literally bleed the Declaration, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights, and love this country, those are people that will never turn on the American people because they're one of us, right? But these other people that really not our friends, be a lot easier to control the military with those people filling, half the vacancies. Just my opinion. Let me know what you think. But here's let me share these stats really quick, okay? So I tried to scour the internet, trying to find recent numbers as to how many foreign-born, not U.S. citizens, foreign-born and not U.S. citizens serve in our military. And the data appears to be quite old. This number, I've seen numbers anywhere from 45 to 80,000. But in this particular article, it says U.S. estimates that approximately 700,000 foreign-born veterans, many of whom are now U.S. citizens, live in the U.S. today. We estimate there are about 45,000 immigrants actively serving. And that number, when you're looking at where we're spread out around the world, probably makes sense. A lot of those are probably human assets for intelligence and stuff. But, some of them are legitimately trying to maybe escape to totalitarian government and came to America, and they're so happy here with the freedom that they're willing to serve in our military and risk their life for this country and then get naturalized in the process. Let's look at some of the recent articles here. This article over at Fox News from April 19th, earlier this year. Reporter says he filmed hundreds of military-aged Chinese men heading toward U.S. and migrant groups. There is a short video clip in this article. Let's listen.
Video taken on the ground along Central America's Darien Gap shows hundreds of military-aged Chinese men headed toward the U.S. Anthony Rubin owns muckraker.com, took that video and joins me now. Anthony, thanks for being here. Why are they coming? Are they seeking this? No problem. Why are they coming? Are they seeking asylum or something potentially more nefarious?
I mean, listen, I'm not here to speculate. I'm going to let your audience watch the video and you guys can come to your own conclusion. I don't really want to get into all that, but the video speaks for itself. I think I put up two of, showing the line of these military-aged males that are lining up to get on these buses to come up here. That's happening every day, multiple times a day down there. So, again, I'm not going to speculate. If you have a more specific question, we can get into that. It certainly doesn't look good. I'll tell you that much. Certainly doesn't look good.
Just from a geography perspective, I'll press you on that. If they wanted to come to America, which is here, from China, which is here, why would they come through Latin America, which is all the way down there, and much more indirect?
Right. So, I mean, this would be for people who can't fly into the U.S. directly. So what they do is they get on a flight and they fly into some South American country. Then from there, they would go to Colombia, they would go across the jungle, pop out in Panama, and then they would head up to the United States. But this is going to be for people that can't fly into the U.S. directly, because you're correct, it wouldn't make sense. You'd rather just fly into the U.S. and overstay your visa. This is for people that don't have that access for whatever reason.
From January to March, there were 2,200 Chinese migrants who crossed the Darien Gap. In the same 3-month span last year, only 71 Chinese migrants were recorded crossing the gap. Why do you, in your individual capacity, fear these individuals, or do you fear these individuals are going to do something?
Let's put it this way. I do think that there's people that are in these groups that are probably legitimately trying to get over here that are good people. That's for sure. But here's what you have to keep in mind, right? The Communist Chinese Party, that's a very powerful group abroad. When you see these videos, you see that these people do not want their face on camera. Now, for me, there's two possible scenarios there, right? Either number one, they are foreign actors that are coming over here for nefarious reasons, right? Number two, these are people that are afraid of some sort of retribution by the Communist Chinese Party. Now, obviously, if it's number one, that's a big problem. We don't even have to get into that. That's obvious why that's an issue, right? If it's number two, well, then what does that mean? That means that these people are going to be beholden to the Communist Chinese Party once they're in here. Oh, you're in the United States. Okay, well, we're going to threaten your friends and family back home in China unless you do X, Y, and Z. You see what I'm saying? So either way, it's still a Trojan horse. So that's the way I see it. So either way, it's very dangerous. I mean, you can't allow this to just continue and have all these people pouring across the border. I mean, it just will not work.
Okay, I totally agree with him. And, these are people that plan to illegally enter America. So my thing is that's why I agree with Trump. We've got to send them all back out of the country. There's a legal way to come into this country. And if you're not willing to follow our laws to immigrate here properly, I don't want you in our country. And I don't want you in the country if you're a member of the CCP. And then here's another video in this. And look, this was back from April, okay? Tens of thousands, I'm thinking now, of Chinese nationals have flooded into this country. But it's just not the Chinese. It's the Iranians. And, the terrorist groups have got their people across the southern border. And now you're going to allow these people to earn their citizenship by joining the U.S. military? No thanks. This article is at the Daily Mail from just a few days ago. Huge group of well-dressed Chinese migrants with smart luggage wait to be processed after illegally crossing border from Mexico into California. Illegally would be the key word there. Chinese nationals were neatly dressed and had smart luggage on them at the border attempting to cross into California. While previously many of the migrants causing the U.S. border crisis had come from Central and South America, now thousands have come from China. Over the 2023 fiscal year, which ended in September, U.S. Customs and Border Protection reported 24,048 Chinese citizens were apprehended. These are the ones we know about, right? And then there is a short video here. We'll watch this one too. This to me looks like the CCP sending in fighting age men. I mean, this doesn't look like families escaping communist China that want to come to America. This is a line of fighting age men. I see very few women. It's like, looks to me like to be 90% young men that seem to be quite fit. Lastly, this article I pulled from Fox News. This is just from December 7th, just a few days ago. Former border chief sounds alarm from crossing overrun by military-age males, getting old really fast. Chris Klim reports from Lukeville, Arizona, as single adult male migrants stream into U.S. There's a video. Let's listen to this one real quick.
By the way, always good to have you on. So Bill Malusian's down there yesterday. Yeah, he pops up yesterday with Dane and me, and he describes, as the sun's coming up, hundreds, maybe it was thousands, of single adult males from all over the world. Then he rolls this video of a hole in the wall, and they just come flooding in, and at the very end of the line, there's a smuggler, black hat, black face, throws his hands up in the air and salutes and walks away. We've asked you to make sense of this all the time, Chris. We can't. Can you?
Yeah. Now, there's no making sense of this. This is 3 years running of what we're dealing with down here. You know, just like you reported and what Bill reported, what you're seeing right behind me, this is military-age single adult males, mostly single adult males. We just had about 8 Syrian nationals come across. There's people from all over, you know, the world showing up here, right here in Lukeville. And just like you mentioned in the beginning of this segment, you know, resources are so stretched so thin that they've had to shut down ports of entry. Border Patrol's had to reassign operations to come down here and address this. And look, this is just reminiscence of what I dealt with the last 2 years in Yuma. So again, we are continuing this same uncontrolled, unregulated illegal immigration, and something needs to happen. Washington needs to get this right. It's getting old real fast.
Yeah, it is. I was looking at a map, and if you take a road to get to Tucson from where you are right now, I think you got to drive 150 miles. If you went to Yuma, it's like 175 miles. But here is the Tucson sector border encounters this year compared to last year. You're up 140% so far in 2023. You're up 187% a year ago. We got time. We've got time to meet or match that number, unfortunately. Lindsey Graham questioning why Democrats in the administration have had this policy.
Clearly, as a party, do not want to change the policies that are attracting so many people. It's inhumane. Given the threats that exist in the world, it's exceedingly dangerous to have lost control of your border. Or are they incompetent or they want it this way, the Biden administration? I think there are a lot of smart people in the Biden administration. They want it this way.
Right. Let's listen one more time to what Dick Durbin said.
The presiding officer, my colleague from the state of Illinois, has legislation which addresses one aspect of that. Her bill, and I hope I describe it accurately, says that if you're an undocumented person in this country and you can pass the physical and the required test, background test, the like, You can serve in our military, and if you do it honorably, we will make you citizens of the United States. Do we need that? Do you know what the recruiting numbers are at the Army and the Navy and the Air Force? They can't reach their quotas each month. They can't find enough people to join our military forces. And there are those who are undocumented who want the chance to serve and risk their lives for this country.
By design, I think they're missing their quotas by 50%. And now they want to fill those positions with warm bodies from the southern border, fighting age men from countries that do not love America. Not good, folks. If you think I'm wrong, tell me in the comments below. If you think I'm right, like to hear your opinion. But as always, keep the faith, keep praying and keep prepping. May God continue to bless this great nation, and may the good Lord keep you and your family safe. See you in the next video. Sons of Liberty out.